Hey, what's up, guys? How are we all doing? Back with another video.
Hi guys.
Um, Super weirdly good timing for us to get back into Oversimplified with them Punic Wars the other day to lead up straight to this. And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, because I saw that he released a recap and then two parts to this one, which is cool because well, we obviously didn't need a recap given that we'd done it a week or two ago.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago. It's still fresh.
Yeah, but the second Punic Wars. So this is the one I thought was the original Punic Wars with Hannibal crossing the mountain with the elephants.
Okay, so is that going to be in this one?
I assume so, yeah. Although, having said that, I still don't really know much about the Second Punic War either. Well, obviously, considering I thought there was only one Punic War, which will tell you a lot. But as always, like all credit to Oversimplified and this. I assume that you will have been to his channel if you're here watching the reactions, but if you haven't, obviously go check that out because obviously this is all his work and very hard work.
He put so much time into them as well, isn't it? Like, I feel like he just deserves all the credit he gets.
Yeah, exactly. He deserves everything, man. It's so entertaining, easily digestible.
Yeah, I saw in the comments someone said that there was a history teacher that played these in his class.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah,
But, you know.
I fully support that because it's the most digestible way to take in this sort of...
Yeah, on subjects that you've really got to be like, right, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. And he does such a good job doing it. You know what would be cool if you put out like a poll, like to do which time period to do next.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be well good. But yeah, as always, guys, thanks for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and welcome if you're new to the channel. Should we crack
Get
on?
into it, yeah.
Let's go.
Possible by NordVPN.
The Romans have taken
Click the link
Carthage.
below and get an exclusive deal
That's where it
with
left off.
4 extra
Take
months.
Carthage,
Also,
yeah.
check out the merch store for some new character pins, the last remaining bucket plushies, and even a calendar. And I'm not done yet. We've partnered with U2s to bring you an exclusive Oversimplified Roman console figure. Get it while you can
I want
at
one.
So like the little pop things?
oversimplified.u2s.com.
Yeah.
But
Do you want
it's
one? You
limited
can put it
edition,
next to your
so
Metal
once
Gear
it's
Duck.
gone, it's gone. So
Metal
go
Gear
and
Duck.
buy it now. Hey, what are you still doing here? I said go and buy it now! All right, our beloved mercenaries. Let's hear it. Okay, thank you one and all for your hard work fighting in the First Punic War. Would have been nice if you'd won, maybe a little harder, but this isn't the finger-pointing convention. I know you all have one thing on your minds. Hey, when are we all getting paid? Remember you lost your... Okay. Jim, why don't you tell them? I'm not telling them, you tell them. You're not getting paid. What? We lost the First Punic War and owe the Romans a ton of reparations. Of course we can't pay you in full.
I didn't even know that they would get paid anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Wait, like, if you were a soldier like that back in the day, even in them times, you got paid
Yeah.
to go to war?
Yeah.
I just thought they were like, you're the army, let's go.
No, of course, they got paid because they support the families. In
I
Rome,
don't know,
in
come
Rome,
back
you got
alive.
paid a lot. You got given like land. You had a pension. And
Oh
when,
my god.
yeah, when you come back after war, like you'd have land to farm.
Just thought they wanted to. Like,
No.
team spirit.
No.
No way.
Yeah, they got paid. Well, isn't it weird, like that? These reparations are most likely going to lead to like the Second Punic War. It always seems that like the end of one war just creates the right conditions for the start of another, i.e., like World War One to World War Two.
How long after the First Punic War is this then?
Immediately after it's
Immediately, okay.
This place to the ground! Hey! Don't burn this place to the ground. Come on, fellas. Will killing us really make you feel better about your money? Yes. Way to go, sir. Shut up, Jim. You're fired. I guess that makes 2 of us. Huh? In the aftermath of the First Punic War, Carthage's disgruntled mercenaries, left unpaid for all their hard work, revolted, and Carthage found itself caught up in an extremely destructive mercenary war. The panicked Carthaginians hired more mercenaries to fight the mercenaries they couldn't afford to pay, and Carthage came dangerously close to collapse. All the while, across the water, there was Rome.
Oh,
Look at those morons. We just kicked their ass in the first Punic War, and now their own mercenaries are revolting. Haha, yeah. Wait, first Punic War? You mean there's gonna be a second one? We're definitely taking advantage of this situation. So almost certainly, yes. The Romans did in fact take advantage of the situation. Amongst the chaos, rebels on the Carthaginian island of Sardinia sent out a cry for help to Rome. Hot diggity dog, said the Romans. That's free real estate. And so in they went. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's our island. Get the hell off. Hey, they requested our help. We're simply helping. Oh, no, you don't. Look, we're sending our own army to deal with the rebels, okay? But just to be clear, we're not trying to start a fight with you, so, don't declare war on us or anything. War! Great. As part of the peace treaty, we get to keep these islands.
wow. Rome was like just the original imperialists, weren't they? They was like, yep, we're having this. Yep, we're having this. Bit of trouble over there. We'll have it, don't worry. It was like, no island was too small for Rome. They just
wanted everything.
They just literally wanted everything.
Greedy.
Yeah, and if you got a problem, you can come say it. Do you know what I mean?
They're bullies, aren't they, really?
It makes for good history, though.
Yeah.
Keep these islands. The Carthaginians were hopping mad. As if their humiliating loss in the First Punic War wasn't bad enough, the Romans now took advantage of their mercenary problem and stole their islands. This shocking land grab was pretty hard to justify, even by Roman standards. Additionally,
That's
the Romans now
snaky,
demanded
innit?
Carthage pay them even more money on top of what was already owed. If Rome was trying to make Carthage as mad as possible, they were doing a fantastic job. The seeds of a second Punic War were being sown, and they were being watered with Carthaginian tears. Resentment in Carthage only continued to grow. Eventually, Carthage solved their mercenary problem thanks to Carthaginian military genius and hero of the First Punic War, Hamilcar Barca. He sorted those naughty mercenaries out with some good old-fashioned atrocities, and the destructive mercenary war was over. Still, all was not well in Carthage. Mere decades ago, they were the top dogs in the Western Mediterranean.
I was just about to say that. Imagine going from, like, being the alpha in that region, being, like, top traders, rich beyond imagination, to somehow, like, being battered by the Romans, civil revolt in your own lands, to just
falling apart.
Yeah, just complete capitulation. After, because the thing is, this has happened in more or less one lifetime.
Okay. Yeah,
Because
it's not about hundreds of years.
Yeah, no, Hamilcar's been there since the start, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Fighting them, so he has seen just the complete decline of Carthage and like the crazy expansion that Rome's had, and that's still yet to have. Rome at its peak covers all of this. Do you know what I mean?
How angry you would be though, wouldn't you? You'd be fuming.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, after the crushing defeat in the First Punic War,
Sorry, not even a great starting point. No money, more problems. Does anyone know a good finance podcast? Just being poor, like FTX poor.
and a huge bill to pay the Romans, Carthage was well and truly under Rome's thumb. What on earth were they supposed to do? If they wanted any chance at regaining their former strength, there was one thing they needed now, more than anything: money. But as long as they owed Rome $1 bazillion, there was nothing they could do. Fortunately for them, amongst their ranks, there was one big hunk of a man with one big clump of a brain. Me, Hamilcar Barca. Yes. Wait, why do you all have the exact same voice? I have it too. That's right. Hero of the First Punic War, greatest general alive, and the poster above my bed. Hamilcar Barca had an idea. All right, we need money? Well, I've got one word for you: Spain. An area filled with lucrative silver mines, from which the silver would flow like a river, and our pockets would be stuffed, like Tony's mother at a buffet. Hey! So here's my proposal. You send me with an army to Spain. I'll expand our territory, get those silver mines up and running, and we'll be able to pay the Romans back in no time. Okay. But just to check, you're not secretly raising the money to go on a bloodthirsty revenge spree against Rome, are you? Because we can't afford that. Hanno, my dear, I'm simply going to pay them back.
How would they be able to afford to start a
That was
war with a whole new
reassuring.
country though? Like in Spain?
I suppose they'd have no money, but they'd have an existing infrastructure for an army.
Yeah.
I suppose you could send them and just hope it went well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
I
guys-
hope that Spain's willing.
Yeah, plus they would have had some money, but it would have been like slowly declining.
Yeah.
And you got to spend it to make it, ain't you?
Few in Carthage were as bitter about their loss in the First Punic War as Hamilcar Barca. 98% of his brain matter had been reallocated to thoughts of revenge. He was also fed up with the Carthaginian politicians for what he deemed a cowardly betrayal when they surrendered at the end of the last war. And so for Hamilcar, going to Spain meant being able to act independently from the weak Carthaginian government, building his own strength.
Wait, sorry, I'm confused. Is Hamilcar the dad of Hannibal? He is, isn't he? Hannibal didn't have a second. No, yeah, sorry, I'm just mad confused at the minute. About
What his position?
Hannibal is his son, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he's the one to take the elephants or.
Is his son born yet?
Yeah, his son's born.
Oh.
And then perhaps somewhere down the line, revenge. However, he wasn't going to Spain by himself. Hannibal,
Look at
yes,
that.
father, would you like to come with me to build an
Yeah,
empire
yeah.
in Spain? Oh boy, would I! Barbara, mind if I take our 9-year-old son with
Mm-hmm.
me? I want to implant an intense hatred of Rome in him and prepare him for a glorious campaign of vengeance. Just try not to traumatize him, dear. No promises. The young boy Hannibal would accompany his father, watching, learning. Boy, you see that city over there? Yes, father? That is Rome. Do you know what we do to Romans? No, father. We hate them, Hannibal. We hate them with every fiber of our being. But why, father? Can't I just play with my Digimons? No, son! They took everything from us. Our land, our wealth, our pride. Those animals. I'll tear them limb from limb. I'll burn their pathetic city to the ground. Dad? I'm sorry, son. I'm a bit so proud. Keep going. I'll slaughter their people. Cut their faces and wear them as masks. I love you, son. After taking Hannibal to the Temple of Baal and having him
Sorry, just a quick side note. Isn't it mad how far the production's come in terms of OverSimplified?
Yeah, when you think about the first ones that we used to watch, like the really older ones.
Yeah, I feel like the detail in these are just getting higher and higher. Do you know what I mean?
swear an oath never to be a friend of Rome, off Dad and son went for their lovely beach holiday in Spain. But Spain was already inhabited by many tribespeople, and when Hamilcar suddenly showed up in their territory, they were like, "Hey, who the hell are you? What are you doing here? I'm teaching my son how to become a warrior like me." Aw, well that's sweet. Well then, little guy, let's see what you got. Good boy. As Hamilcar got to work fighting the tribes of Iberia and expanding Carthaginian influence, Hannibal became a child of war, even earning battle scars from a young age. And he grew to become a great military leader himself, making his father very proud. I love you so much, son. Dad, not in front of the enemy. You killed that guy so well, son. The bark is
Getting
successfully
slaughtered by like someone's little kid that they've brought with their army.
Yeah, it's like when you hear history stories and you kind of expect the generals to be like 15, but you're like, oh, this general was 14 at the time when he led the armies against. And you're like, 14?
Sure, I bet like kids can't even throw like a strong punch at 14.
Yeah, I was still eating sand at 14, you know? Leading armies around, and it's just insane.
Consolidated Carthaginian power, got those silver mines up and running, and were sending buckets of cash back to a money-starved Carthage. And symbolizing Carthage's regrowing strength, a beautiful new city would eventually be founded in Spain. New Carthage, with a magnificent palace at its center. Carthage is back, baby! What in the name of Apollo is going on here? Ah, Romans! Flowing silver mines? Dancing elephants? What are you up to, Hamilcar? I'm simply gathering the money to pay you back. Oh, well, okay then. Or are you rebuilding strength to go on a bloodthirsty revenge spree? Like I said, Claudius, I'm simply trying to pay you back. Aw. You guys are hugging. No, we're not. I was. I was hugging. Hamilcar had practically carved out a kingdom for himself in Spain, free from the meddling Carthaginian
I
politics.
wonder what this is here. Anyone know?
Is it technically like something that's not part of Spain?
Well, I'm assuming just Carthage didn't manage to take this. Maybe the Iberians had it or something. I'm not sure.
His power was becoming immense. But Dad, yes, my son? I'm confused. Are we really simply paying the Romans back? We're not gonna go on a bloodthirsty revenge spree? Of course we are. I'm just saying that to get the Romans off our backs. Listen, here's the most important life lesson I have for you. Vengeance is everything. An all-encompassing thirst for vengeance is great for your mental health. Are you still confused? No, I get it now. But what if the Romans find out what we're up to? They won't find out. Why? Well, Hannibal, because I use NordVPN.
I didn't see that coming before you did.
Yeah.
Do you like your
I'm not
computer
gonna lie,
being
it's alright
hacked,
with
all your
subtitles. I
passwords
don't know.
being
Did you?
stolen,
Yeah.
and used to create a
I don't know why I
fake
did this
affiliate
subtitle,
that
no.
drains your mom's bank
Guess I
account?
missed something.
Me neither. And
I
that's
can't
why
look at
I
those.
use NordVPN.
Yeah.
These
Seems
days,
retarded.
hackers are only getting smarter, while you're only getting dumber.
Sometimes I find that I'm
convincing
reading the
phishing attacks,
subtitles,
Wi-Fi
but I'm not
networks,
looking
or
at what's
clicking
going on.
Elon's Facebook post that
Or if I'm
opens the
looking at
door
what's
to a
going
hacker
on, I
party
just
your
block out the
device.
subtitles.
You need to protect yourself from online threats with NordVPN.
It's hard for some.
NordVPN
You know what I mean?
It's hard for some
is a
people.
secure service
not
that
easy.
encrypts your data and keeps you safe by blocking malicious
So I don't want to
websites
skip
with their
his
threat
adverts, do you know what I mean?
protection
Like it's
With
his video and that stuff.
NordVPN, you can also connect to other territories and take
So how's
advantage
everyone
of better
doing?
deals and content not available in your
Everyone
country.
keeping up with their
And
New
if
Year's
you don't like
resolutions?
it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So go to nordvpn.com/oversimplified to get an exclusive
I do have a
deal
question though.
with
How
a
did they get
huge
elephants?
discount and
Go from North Africa.
How did they get them to Spain? Do they have elephants in Spain?
Yeah, you can
Anyway.
take them on the boats. Think so. Yeah, you can take them on the boats. Big boats.
Big boat.
4
Big boats.
extra months. That's nordvpn.com/oversimplified.
Makes me nervous when people used to take animals
And
on
as
boats.
always, you'll be supporting my channel.
Because what if they can't swim
So
if it
thank you.
sinks?
Now, where were we?
It's a bit
Oh,
sad, isn't it?
Yeah. I've heard that the fish in the Titanic is still alive. I don't know if you've heard that, but the Titanic was so well built, the fish in it are still alive.
Shut up.
Tears, a child of war, and the Carthaginian conquest of Spain. The Carthaginian recovery had been staggeringly quick, and Rome was seriously alarmed. But they were also preoccupied with ongoing wars elsewhere, including an expansionist war to the north, where they were enslaving thousands of northern Celts. So for now, to keep Carthage in check, the Romans insisted on a new treaty. See this river? The two sides agreed that everything above it was in Rome's sphere of influence, while beneath it was Carthage. Under no circumstances were the Carthaginians to expand north of that river. But for now, Hamilcar and son were living it up.
Hamilcar.
Well, son, here's to many more years.
Why do the horses always look like this, by the way? You know, like in Family Guy, when Lewis goes, here, the horse is here. They always look like retarded, and I don't know why.
Oh, leave them
Successful
alone.
campaigning in Spain. Now, if you'll excuse me, I just have to go fight those guys. See you later, son. I love you. What the? Oh, crap. I drowned? Oh, well. Always remember, son. You are vengeance. Also, delete my browsing history. Hamilcar was tragically ambushed at a river and drowned. His son-in-law, and possibly also his lover, no further questions, took charge for a while.
What?
Sorry.
Was later assassinated, leaving finally a 26-year-old Hannibal in charge of the Carthaginian armies in Spain. Sources say the men readily accepted him as their leader. He chose to suffer the same hardships as his men. He lived in the same conditions, was often the first into battle and the last one out. And it also helped that he looked a lot like his dad. He had the total respect of his men. If he said jump, they said how high. If he said tuck me in, they said how tight. If he said talk to a girl without peeing your pants, they said that's impossible. Nobody can do that. An army that would follow him anywhere would be cruel.
That's crazy. Can you imagine being 26 and having that level of responsibility? Like, the entire army respects you, they're following you. You've got fully grown men, like twice the age of you, willing to go and die for you, if you told them to.
That's like a good thing though, isn't it? Imagine if he took over and they all hated him.
Yeah, I don't think it would have lasted long.
No. Gutted for his dad though, like his dad got through the first Punic War, like really known for leading the army and stuff, and then he's took out by water.
Yeah.
Like not even dying in battle.
Yeah. It's so common as well that throughout like the course of history you hear about really toxic like father-son relationships in like the battlefield and like especially like militaristic leaders.
They get jealous, don't they?
Yeah. But yeah, fair play.
Crucial for exacting his vengeance against Rome. Hannibal's army had become a strong and loyal fighting force, and that was making a certain nation very uncomfortable. Seeing Carthage re-strengthen so quickly was not something Rome had expected, yet here they were, paying off their debts and expanding their territory. It didn't feel very much like Carthage was under Rome's thumb at all, and Rome wanted to put an end to it. Tensions were strung tighter than your liar's G-string, and all it would take was one incident to trigger all-out war. And in 219 BC, a city in Spain would find itself at the very center of that fateful incident, Saguntum. Remember that treaty declaring everything south of this river to be Carthage's sphere of influence? Well, Saguntum should therefore obviously be Carthaginian, right? Wrong! Saguntum had actually scored itself an informal alliance with Rome, after Rome had helped it with an internal dispute. With Carthaginian encroachment, Saguntum began to fear for its independence, and Rome declared itself Saguntum's protector. But this clearly...
Imagine being Saguntum and knowing Rome has got you back.
Yeah.
Like, that has got to be the biggest flex ever. It's like, look.
Yeah, but Rome's not close to them though to come and defend them.
Yeah.
They could get like revenge for them. But...
Yeah, but just knowing that, like Carthage, you know, if we attack this place, the Romans are going to rock up here in a few weeks, and there's going to be serious problems.
Yeah.
Went against the Ebro River Treaty. So what on earth was Rome doing? Were the Saguntines and the Romans truly just BFFs? It's possible. Or was Rome deliberately trying to interfere with Hannibal's Spanish expansion and maintain a staging post for a future war with Carthage? More likely. And Hannibal certainly viewed this Rome-Saguntum alliance as an outrage. Yet another example of Roman arrogance. At first, he left Saguntum alone. But having learnt from his father to hate all things Roman, and having inherited his father's dream of bringing Rome to its knees more and more, Hannibal may have begun to see Saguntum as an opportunity. Could this controversial alliance be just what devilish little Hannibal needed to kickstart a civil war with Rome and restore Carthaginian dominance? It's even possible that we're also using Saguntum to goad Hannibal into a fight, so they could go and kick him out of Spain. And as the two giants began gearing up for round...
It's weird that like they would wait for a motive to start the war. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause it's not like public opinion necessarily mattered back then, was it? I mean, it did to an extent, but not as much as it does in like a democracy like today. So for them to have to justify going to war again, I wonder what the thinking behind that is.
But it's clever to kind of coax someone into giving them a reason, though,
Yeah.
because you know that they're going to go for it.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
2. The poor people of Saguntum had no idea that they were about to be crushed in the collision. Hey! Your alliance with Saguntum is an insult, And we won't stand for it. They're our friends, Hannibal. And if you lay a finger on them, it'll be an act of war. Yeah, Hannibal, back the hell off. Okay. I was thinking I might just besiege their city and massacre their people. I hope you do, Hannibal. Find out what happens. Yeah, we hope you do, Hannibal. What? Maybe I will. Go ahead. Kill them all. Okay then. Fine. Okay, guess I'll do just that. Consul, we look forward to it. Consul? You're gonna protect us though, right, Consul? Consul!
Romans are bastards, aren't they?
Oh no! To top it all off, when the Saguntine people made the genius decision of raiding into Carthaginian territory, enough was enough. In an action that was guaranteed to provoke the Romans into war, Hannibal besieged the city. The siege of Saguntum lasted 8 cruel months before Hannibal broke through the city defenses and turned Saguntum into a killing field. It was a massacre. What the hell? Tell me I didn't just catch you massacring our friends, the Saguntines. Well, Consul?
I'm not gonna lie, I've never heard of Saguntum.
No.
Like, I'll rate you if you have, and you know about this, because this is a part of history that is just...
Isn't it crazy that this tiny little place, though, that's not even like a big known thing, had such a big thing on this, though?
It's like when we watched People the other day.
Yeah.
Like, them tiny little islands nearly caused America and Britain to go to war.
Yeah, something so insignificant.
Yeah.
And then just causes absolute uproar.
Yeah.
If you like the Saguntines so much, perhaps you should sug on these nuts.
War
Hearing
finish.
word of the attack on Saguntum, Rome was understandably in an uproar, and all eyes were now fixated on what would happen next, as Rome sent a delegation to Carthage, led by one of the most highly esteemed Roman senators, Fabius Maximus. He demanded an answer for Hannibal.
Wicked names.
All right, listen up, scum. You've got a rogue general in Spain attacking a Roman ally. What are we supposed to do about it? Well, there shouldn't have even been a Roman ally in Spain. You're the aggressor here. Hand Hannibal over to us as a criminal so we can punish him severely. No, yes, no, no. Look, I hold in the folds of my toga both peace and war. Which one should I let drop? Whichever
Both.
one you want. Then I choose. The Second Punic War had begun.
So it begins.
Pack it up, boys. We've got 'em. We already destroyed these clowns once, and we were the underdogs. Now, we're the overdogs? Hot dogs. Exactly. This is gonna be easy. Here's the plan. Consul Longus, you take your army and sail straight for Carthage.
Longus,
Burn that city to the ground. And Consul Scipio, you just head on over to
Oh, is that... Oh, what's his name? Is that... He's got some mad name, Scipio Africanus or something.
Oh, like his full name?
Yeah, he's got a really cool name.
Sure,
I know a
this
little
Hannibal
bit about
guy doesn't do anything crazy. I mean, what's he gonna do? Cross the Alps? We're going to what? Cross the Alps. We're going to what? I just told you, Hannibal will freeze to death. Trust me, Jerome. The Romans are expecting us to fight the same way we did last time. Passively, taking no initiative. They think it's gonna be easy. So this time, we have to be aggressive. We have to go on the attack. It sickens me to say this, but this time, we have to be a little more Roman. You mean we're gonna take poops and baths together? But I'm insecure about my hairy legs. No, I'm saying this time, we're gonna take the fight to them. Think about it. Rome thinks they're simply going to invade us and win the war. So when they suddenly find themselves being invaded from the north, they'll freak out. Like Tony's mother, when the buffet runs out of shrimp. Hey! I gotta admit, it's actually kind of genius. And my hairy legs will insulate me from the cold. That's the spirit, Hannibal. You have my sword, and my spear, and my legs. Ugh.
That was like the start of the Fellowship, wasn't it? With Legolas, Aragorn, and Gimli.
Yeah,
My sword, my bow, and my axe. Also, just with So random. This is we've recently been watching through the Lord of the Rings trilogy again.
Yeah, we're on the last one now.
How good is it?
It's so good. I think I wasn't sure if I'd get into it or not. I love it.
Yeah,
Love
guys, honestly, it's worth a rewatch. It's just as good as you remember.
Hannibal's plan, a daring alpine trek to surprise the Romans, was a bold but risky strategy. If it paid off, he could catch the Romans with their pants down, but he could also end up losing a ton of men and supplies in the hostile mountain conditions. Nevertheless, in 218 BC, with a fire in his eyes and some vengeance in his belly, Hannibal brought his force of almost 100,000 men across the Ebro River.
Jesus.
They spent months on the road, trekking through the cold, hostile mountain conditions. And when they finally reached the other side, they said, "Hooray!
You know what's weird as well? There's obviously no communication, so they don't know how the rest of the war's going at this point.
No.
And if they do, it, like, by the time the information gets them, it's already weeks old.
Yeah, it's too late, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Imagine trying to get an elephant up a mountain.
Honestly, the elephants must have been freezing them.
Oh.
We crossed the Alps. No, those were the Pyrenees. Those are the Alps.
Oh my god.
There you go.
After crossing the Pyrenees, the army then had to pass through southern Gaul, a vast territory filled with tribespeople, many of whom were hostile to Hannibal's presence. His journey to the Alps was an ordeal in itself, as he was forced to fight his way through and incurred pretty hefty losses before even reaching the mountains. His plan was almost stopped in its tracks entirely, as the Roman consul Scipio, on his way to Iberia, discovered Hannibal was right on his doorstep. Suddenly, Hannibal's journey became a race, as he rushed to get his massive army across the vast Rhone River before the Romans could intercept him. The crossing was chaotic, with the panicking elephants causing several men to drown. And the first combat of the war occurred when small scouting parties from each side encountered one another. When Scipio finally caught up to Hannibal's position, what he found was an empty Carthaginian camp. Hannibal had slipped through his fingers. The Roman consul Scipio felt the weight of the situation. Quite unbelievably, Hannibal was going to cross the Alps into Italy, and the Romans had no idea where he would emerge. For the first time, a Carthaginian force had the Roman homeland under threat. Scipio sent his men onto Iberia as planned, but he himself rushed home to raise a new army so that if Hannibal survived the crossing, Scipio would be there, waiting. Would you look at that, boys? We're here. The Alps.
Yeah, I'd never considered that once they're in the Alps, we have no way of knowing which part of Italy they're going to come out at.
Well, not even that as well, because obviously going across the Alps is like huge, but you would have no idea how long it would take them.
Yeah.
So you could be waiting like a few weeks and be like, oh, maybe they're dead, they're not coming. Then you could be like, oh,
Yeah.
but we still can't leave just in case it's taking them a while.
And how would they know how to navigate the Alps? That's not their territory, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How would they know the right ways?
He's just crazy, isn't he?
Because there's not going to be roads through the Alps, is there? I mean, there possibly would have been, but not obviously up and over the mountains, but like small passes.
They probably just go whichever way is in the general direction they need to go.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work. I don't know. Maybe he'll tell us.
Although it is a little later than I expected.
Is that John Cena?
Chilly. We'll set up
Is
camp
it?
here and wait
Yeah.
for spring, right? It's way too cold, right? Hannibal? Hannibal's famous crossing of the Alps was brutal. It was already autumn, and the men suffered terribly. It was cold. Men would fall off the sides of icy cliffs. They starved. They fell off the sides of icy cliffs. Some sources say they had to eat their pack animals and would finish off dying comrades in order to take their clothes for extra warmth. And then they would fall off the sides of icy cliffs. Imagine an army of 50,000 men with all of their horses, supplies, and 37 elephants trying to navigate the most hostile mountain range in Europe. And it wasn't just nature that they were up against. Tribespeople lived in the mountains, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. A tribe approached Hannibal and said, "Hey man, geez, that's some nice armor. What is that, gold? Man, I'd really like that armor. Hey boss, they've got food as well. Shut up, be cool."
I'm sorry, I've only just realised. Imagine how much food you'd have to bring for 50,000 men.
Yeah.
That's insane. I assume they've already lost 50,000 because they had 100,000 when they crossed the Pyrenees.
Yeah, well, I wonder what kind of food they would even take, though, because it would spoil, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
I thought they'd just eat each other when they're dead.
Hey, why don't you let us guide you through this narrow gorge? We're not gonna kill you or nothing. Just walk right on through there. We're not gonna kill you. It's just right this way. We're not gonna kill you. Hannibal's army were forced to fight their way through the gorge as massive boulders rained down on them from above. Some clever reorganization of his line helped them survive, and they were able to fend off the opportunistic tribes. But losses from the constant attacks were heavy. As the journey continued, men who went over the sides would get stuck on the ice sheets below and had to make a grisly choice between starving to death or just getting it over with. When the deeply demoralized army reached the summit and rested for a couple days, Hannibal tried to lift their spirits with a rousing speech. Look, men, down there, it's Rome. These plains stretching out in front of you are bountiful with food to eat and Romans to kill. Move, Bessie! Look, you have just climbed the walls of Rome. The hard part is over. From here on out, it's all downhill, and nobody else will die. Except for them. The rest of us here, no one dies. Starting now. Okay, let's go. Oh, for goodness sake! As it turned out, the descent was as deadly as the way up, with the cold really starting to set in. The path became even more narrow, and at one point, the men spent 3 days in the freezing cold, repairing a collapsed road. When they finally reached the bottom, Hannibal said, "Look, guys, we did it!"
I wouldn't mind, but that's in August as well. So that's
Yeah.
the warmest time of year to do it.
Yeah. I find it mad as well that they had to fight, like, the tribes that lived in the Alps.
Yeah.
And beat them in their own territory, which is really, like, ruthless.
Yeah, and who would decide to live in the Alps? Like, that's an absolute joke.
Wild.
Well, I thought it went really well. When Hannibal left Spain, he had about 100,000 men. By the time he reached the Italian plains, his numbers had dwindled to about 26,000.
Jeez.
He was now caught in enemy territory, without a supply line or source of reinforcements. And any elephants who had survived to this point were almost certainly traumatized. So what on earth was Hannibal up to? This supposed military genius had just led a starving and weakened army right into enemy territory. Any modern general who lost half their men to mountains would be immediately fired and possibly even depantsed on live TV. Here's the thing. While Hannibal may not have planned on losing quite so many men, he had almost certainly expected considerable losses, and he always had a plan for how to replace them. Need men? Northern Italy was full of men. Big, burly Celtic men. All the men Hannibal would ever need to beat off Rome. These
But they're
Celts
Italian.
were filled with resentment, having only recently been conquered by Rome.
Yeah.
Hannibal hoped to be seen as a liberator, convince the Celts to cut ties with Rome, and instead join him in crushing Rome. That way, he could gain a source of reinforcements and supplies right in Rome's backyard. But sir, in order to win the loyalty of the Celts, we would need to make a seriously favorable impression on them. How do we get them to like us? Kill them. One of Hannibal's first actions in Italy was to obliterate a nearby tribe who wouldn't join him. This sent a clear message to all the other tribes. It was his wrath they should fear, not Rome's. The realization that a Carthaginian army had just invaded them must have been shocking for the Romans. But when they looked at this ragtag group broken by the Alps, they couldn't have felt very intimidated. However, Hannibal was now in Italy, and he was about to embark on one of the most astonishing military campaigns
It's gonna end, isn't it?
of human history. The Romans may not
I
have
knew
known
it.
yet, but there was now a monster loose in their territory, and he was vying for Roman blood.
He's brutal.
Do you know, that was brilliant, wasn't it? And the next one's even longer. Next one's 40 minutes.
Is that out now? Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah. Oh my god. I knew it was going to end there because I was like, okay, here we go, let's get into it. Part 2. So, There's got to be loads of battles for the next one's worth of 40 minutes.
Yeah.
If this guy's grew up, seen his dad die, lost his mates or boyfriend, went to Spain, left Spain, through the Alps into Rome, and that took 20 minutes or 28 minutes.
I can't believe he actually like took all them people through the Alps.
I know what. So he lost about 75,000 people.
Yeah. Isn't that mad that he lost like 75,000 people and he wasn't one of them?
Yeah, but
Do you know what I mean?
he would have been eating the best out of all of them, innit?
Yeah, he would have had like the shelter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had no idea people would even bother trying to live in the Alps. What can you grow there? What can you hunt?
You could hunt the stupid people.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Go through the Alps.
You hunt Carthaginians that walk through.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. That's insane though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, I think so this one will get released tonight, which is what's tonight for everyone, so we all know. 21st.
21st.
And then we'll do the next one straight away, and we'll release that tomorrow, so on the 22nd. So they'll be super close together. And I said it at the start, but I'll say it again. All credit to OverSimplified on this, man. He's done a brilliant job, hasn't he?
He did a wicked job, yeah. I actually really, really enjoy the OverSimplified.
I don't know which time period I prefer him doing the most. Like, I did like all the World War II stuff, the World War One stuff, but they were the shortest videos.
Yeah, they weren't very long, were they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure World War II was only like a 20-minute video or something like that.
It depends how much, like, extra information you need to get into it, though.
True. I wouldn't mind. Oh, the Cold War was pretty good as well. I really liked the Cold War. That was a good one.
Was that a long one?
I think that was about 30 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think that was one of my favourite ones.
Really?
Yeah. But in terms of like, because from what I understand, most of the subscribers and viewers on our channel are American.
Yeah.
Doing the Revolutionary War was a good one because there was a lot of good banter in the comments. So I did enjoy that aspect of it.
Yeah, and I like seeing like when people comment the different ways that they learnt about American history.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
So,
Like adding, but they didn't mention this, they didn't mention that, and I'm like, oh.
yeah, I read quite a lot of the comments in the last video. Well,
Yeah.
try and read as much as I can. And I always like, when you get a good debate started in the comments, you see people talking and
Yeah.
And I also saw a few people that commented that were Blues fans, which was
Okay.
cool. I didn't realise I had Blues fans as subscribers or viewers at least, which I thought was cool. But yeah, sorry I'm waffling. Thanks for joining us, guys. Honestly, we love doing these videos, man. We really, really do. I'm sure you can tell throughout the course of it when we've just got constant smiles and all that good stuff. But, like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Let us know. Obviously we'll do the next Oversimplified, but let us know what you want.
A lot of people have said about
After that.
doing epic history.
I'm
As
sure
well.
we've done some epic history before.
Have we?
Didn't it? Isn't that the one that done the, is it Lindenberg?
Maybe.
Well,
That
we-
big break we had, I feel like I just need
Yeah,
to
yeah,
remember what
yeah.
we've done.
yeah. But, like and subscribe, all that good stuff, guys. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Take it easy.